Hi. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Just Saying. It is August 26th, 2013. Already? That was Jimmy saying hello to everybody in the beginning. And I am joined here, as I am every week, by my lovely co-host, Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Kim. I had to definitely mute with Jimmy barking. I thought I was going to lose it there for a second. If we had to train him to do that at that timing, it would never happen.
I know. Jimmy definitely has a mind of his own.
You put enough cookies in the way he do it.
Yeah, that's true. You never know with Jimmy what he's going to be up to. So, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm lovely, and yourself?
Oh, I'm okay. Sorry, everybody. I don't get to talk to Kim all day long, so we're catching up.
What do you mean, no volume? I could scream, but Robin, you'd be saying, shut up.
Hopefully we're a little bit better now.
I got it.
Okay, Anita's saying it's better. We've got the Anita Good Housekeeping seal of approval, so we must be doing something right. So, how are things at the store?
Interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any good customer stories today?
Well, I had a Baptist minister's wife come in and ask me if I was Wiccan.
Okay.
I swear, it seems to be a theme lately. Everybody assumes that.
Well, I could say something smart-ass, but I won't. I'll be nice.
Why break a street?
Ooh.
Okay. You're going to get yours later, trust me. Maybe I should open up that box of cookies right now and eat every one of them.
Go right ahead, Mary. It's under the bus. We have cookies.
That's true. That's true. So now you are a Wiccan because this Baptist minister person told you were.
No, everybody's been telling me that, but she's the latest in the line thereof.
Gotcha.
But apparently she grew up far enough south to where she grew up around people who were into voodoo. So I'm good.
Okay.
She didn't march or picket or anything in my store, so hey.
Well, that's good. Either that, it's able to attract some business. The people that act like they're afraid of something, they're the ones that really aren't. They just don't want the world to know about it.
Right. Well, she came in with her daughter, and her daughter was like all kinds of interested in everything, so.
Gotcha. Well, I had a fun weekend.
I know you went to a wedding.
No, Mark and Jessica got married. And, I didn't know what to expect. I've never been to a garden wedding before, let alone a real small one. It was very, very, I'm not even sure I can put it into words, but Rick and I were overwhelmed that we got invited because they only had 20 people there. It was immediate family, invited like 6 to 8 friends. And so, that was an honor. But the best part of the entire wedding, it was a spiritual wedding, and everything was symbolic. And it was nothing I've ever attended. All I can tell you is when I left there, I just felt like I was floating. I was talking to Patty a little bit later on Skype, webcam, and I kept saying, I don't know how to explain how I feel. I mean, it's just like, and I kept going. She goes, you don't have to, you're glowing. I never came home with so much positive energy. Anything that was negative that was happening prior, everything just changed around, and I just felt rejuvenated. It was just so beautiful.
No.
So I tried to keep everybody abreast of the wedding, when we first got there, and Mark looking at Jessica coming towards him, and then her with the gown, and she looked like a goddess. She was dressed up like a goddess. The gown, everything about her was just beautiful. So congratulations to Mark and Jessica, and best wishes.
And congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Goodhand.
Yes. That doesn't sound right.
Mark started it.
Yeah, Mark starts a lot of things. He was the funny part is the minister both of them had to write something about each other. And neither one of them knew what the other one wrote. But the minister gets to read it. And Mark really pulled, I mean, I was ready for Mark to say, well, she likes pepperoni pizza.
Right.
And, she picks up after me. That's the kind of thing you would expect. But one thing was more beautiful than the other. And about halfway through, Jessica's standing there, and she's like, you're going to make me cry. Because I guess she didn't really had that in him, too. To be, I wouldn't call it poetic. It was meaningful. It's the first time I've ever seen hand washing. And then they tie this beautiful scarf. It was kind of cool. Anyway, had a great weekend, and here we are, live tonight on Just Saying.
Yes, we are. And Mary's stuttering along because she wants me to play show and tell because she wants to see what I made her.
I know. And now for our show and tell segment of the show. Wait a minute. I got sound effects here. Go ahead.
Mary asked that I make her a necklace, a pendant of some sort. So I've been playing with this. So yesterday I got enough and I finally put it together and finished it. It is a citrine stone.
Ooh.
Not sure you can see appreciate the colors.
Yeah, but it looks cool.
And then it's wood and amber in between. Little chips of amber and then wood.
Very nice. I love it. And everybody's the first time I'm seeing it. That's so me.
It was something different, but it's got all the little swirlies on it, little pretties. And I had help wrapping the stone because the wire I had was too thick and kept stabbing me and trying to break my fingers.
I love it. Especially the fact that you made it just for me.
I did. Every link.
I'm pretty lucky because Anita made some things for me too. So it's special when somebody makes it and it's designed just for you. So thank you. Get a big hug when I see you in person.
You're welcome.
So why don't we get our show started? You can do the intros.
Oh, absolutely. Our guest this evening is... She's my friend.
I could be rotten and say I'm glad to hear you have more than one friend.
Right? She is the author of, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, Roan and Alien Legacy. Her father was involved in the 1955 Kelly Hopkinsville encounter. One of our friends. And who?
Said I missed going. One of these years, I promise I'll make it.
Oh, it just gets bigger and better every year, so it'll be good when you get there. Maybe you ought to wait till the 2017 when the eclipse comes and they think the aliens are going to come back.
Oh, that would be something.
Yeah, 2017 is when it's supposed to be like a full 2-minute solar eclipse.
Yeah, it's over 2 minutes. It's supposed to be so dark you're going to need a flashlight. Just like, the darkest night.
No, I'll just wear my green shirt again. It was glow in the dark.
So weird. Yeah, it's going to be in the afternoon, so, yeah. Plus, it's the day of the anniversary of the alien encounter there. So that's what's really making it eerie also, is that.
Oh, yeah?
Like, people are really worried about it from what I hear. I just, have been reading up on it, and people are really starting to get creeped out by it.
Well, I think everybody has this thing about anniversaries. It's how many years is it? Is it 50 years?
Something like that, I think. So long before it comes back. So, it's a big to-do.
Well,
Well-
everybody got creeped out by the Y2K. Everybody got creeped out last year by December 21st. You know, you've always got the people who are going to be creeped out by everything and claim everything is just causing havoc in the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's just something to celebrate too. I mean, Kim and I look for any excuse to get the lawn chair out. So
Right?
There's going to be a lot of lawn chairs that weekend.
So, you know, we have some people that are listening in the chat room, and of course there's a lot of people that will be watching down the road because we get a lot of hits on our podcast. Do you want to just kind of give a short summary to everybody as to what we're talking about and what happened to your family?
Sure. Of course, it happened in 1955, August 21st. It was a house full of people. It was my dad and his wife at the time. My parents weren't married yet, so it was his first wife. My grandmother and several aunts and uncles, and Billy Ray Taylor and his wife, June, who were good friends of my dad. And my dad had just come in. He, of course, was working with the carnival at the time, and they had come in for the weekend because they were in Evansville at the time. And, oops, gosh, I got stuff going on here, y'all. Hold on.
She finally got in the chat room.
Yeah. And they had come in for the weekend to get away from all that carnival stuff. And it was Sunday evening, and they were just laid back, taking it easy, and getting ready. They were going to head back Monday to go back with the carnival. And it was probably close to 8 o'clock, just, you know, when that little bit of sunlight's gone and the darkness is starting to show its face. And Billy Ray went out to the well to get some cold water. They didn't have any running water. And so he went out there, and as he was out there, he heard something look up in the sky, and there going across the sky was this big silver oval object with what he said the colors of the rainbow flowing behind it. And he didn't know what it was, had no clue. So he ran in the house and told everybody he just saw something. And they had thought that he went out there to cook up some kind of scheme to scare the girls. And so, you know, they were just laughing at him and telling him, you know, to stop it. He kept on. He was very persistent about the whole thing. And so my dad finally told him, he said, okay, just take me out there to the well. Show me where it was that you saw this. So they went out there. He showed him, and my dad was trying to reason it out. Well, it was a falling star, it was a meteor, you know, something like that. But, of course, Billy Ray was saying, no, it was none of these things. I know what all those look like, and it was none of these. They couldn't see anything, so he said, well, let's just go back to the house. So they went back to the house, and as they were walking back toward it, they saw something coming out of the back of the woods behind the house. And it was like, you know, something they'd never seen before, 3.5 foot tall, glowing eyes, long arms down to the ground, huge ears. And it was like floating atop the ground. And they ran in the house, tell everybody, you know, there is something out here. And so my grandmother's like thinking, well, okay, these boys were in their 20s, you know, they were young wives. And so she was thinking, well, they went out there, cooked up this, try to scare the girls. And so she was telling them to stop. My dad was very persistent and was telling, you know, Mom, we seen something. There is something out there. And she knew they were really serious when one of them grabbed a rifle, one grabbed a shotgun, one went to the back door, one went to the front door, and stood there on watch. And she thought, oh, well, maybe this is serious. So she went to talk to Billy Ray at the back door. And Billy Ray told her, said, Miss Glennie, I don't know what it was. It's something I have never seen before. It's something that maybe, you know, they called them, for a while they called them goblins. And that was Billy Ray, he was saying. He said, you know, it looked maybe something the devil brought forth, you know, something. And it wasn't long till coming around the corner of the house, there was one of them just as big as you please. Billy Ray shot, and my grandmother fell to the floor, and everybody come running. And about that time, when they were trying to get their senses together, they heard a shot in front of the house. Went running to the front of the house, and J.C., my uncle, had shot another one through the front window. And Billy Ray ran out to the front stoop on the front porch, and there was a little like overhang, and then a claw or a hand came down and grabbed at his hair, and one of the girls grabbed him and yanked him in. Well, that was it. My dad ran out on the porch and shot up toward the roof where that one was. They were shooting him out of the tree. They were shooting him off the back fence in the yard. I mean, they would shoot these little things, and they would, drop, roll away, and then come back. They knew they were hitting them. These were country boys. They could hit anything. And they could hear them when they hit them. And but they weren't dying. They weren't doing anything but coming back. And so they pinned themselves up in the house, and, it got real quiet, and then they heard one going across the roof. And they had a tin roof, so it was pretty obvious. And so, they were terrified. I mean, you've got small children in this house. And the women, everybody was just hysterical because they didn't know what they were dealing with. And the fact remains that the darn things kept jumping up. So finally it got quiet, and my dad's like, okay, this is it. Let's get to the truck. We're going to get to Hopkinsville. We're going to go for help. Because that's what he thought, let's go for help. It'll be all right. So they got in, to Hopkinsville. They ran to the police department. They ran in. There was one little officer on duty, and he didn't know what to think. Because, you've got this mob of people running in there with small children here it is middle of the night. And he's, well, what's wrong? So, they're all trying to tell him what they just fought. And he just can't believe what he's hearing. He's trying to make sense of it. And finally, he, give me a minute. So he calls Sheriff Russell Greenwell. Well, the sheriff says, okay, I'll be there. Call Fort Campbell, call Madisonville. Just call everybody you can. Get as many people out there as you can. He says, I'm on my way. So he does the calling. Before you know it, there's just a caravan of vehicles going out to this little old farm here in Kelly. Now, Kelly is just a wide spot in the road. At the time, it's a wide spot now, but at the time it was really a wide spot. The houses were very sparse. There wasn't a whole lot out there. It was mostly farmland. It wasn't like it is now. So here you've got this caravan of vehicles going out there, and everybody jumps out. They start searching. Well, there's evidence that there was something happening there because there was shotgun and rifle shells everywhere. Of course, the windows had been blown. There was pieces of splintered wood. The screens had been blasted through. So there was clear evidence that they had been shooting at something. But they couldn't find anything. The only thing that was ever saw was when they were pulling up, some of the police officers saw like a glowing substance on the back fence where they had shot at one. But when you would go up to it, you couldn't see it. When you would back away from it, it would glow. So I never understood that. But you got to realize the protocol was never taken with this case. No samples were taken. The place wasn't roped off or anything. People were just walking all over the place, and so there was nothing done right in the first place with this whole situation. Anyway, nothing was found, so they decided to leave. So everybody left. It got quiet. Everybody tried to settle down because, they were exhausted. They were exhausted mentally and physically. The kids were just, wore out. And so everybody got down, finally got rested, and it went before long. My grandmother, she was asleep in the bed, and my dad was sitting there in a chair in the room with her, and he had a rifle across his lap. And she woke up, and she thought she'd seen one in the window again. Well, she closed her eyes, opened them up again, and she did that like 2 or 3 times. And finally she just said, Elmer, they're back. Well, he jumps up, starts shooting again, and so the firing goes again. They have a battle until about 5:15 in the morning, which they were glad that they left because they were running out of ammo. But it seemed like when the daylight hit, that's when they left. And so that was it for that battle. And next came the people battle because people were coming from everywhere wanting to see the green men. They were camping out in the yard. They were walking through the house. They were picking up everything like souvenirs. And it was just crazy. And this went on for a good bit. And it wasn't too long after that my grandmother decided that she didn't want to live there. You know, my dad and his wife had to go back to work. There wasn't going to be anybody there left except her with her small children. She was a widow. And Uncle J.C. and his wife. And so, you know, she just didn't feel safe anymore, so she sold the farm within 2 weeks and moved to an apartment complex in Hopkinsville, and you know, that's just how it was. But they battled something, you know, something happened that night. And that's what I try to tell everybody, you know, whether it be extraterrestrial, whether it be supernatural, whatever it is, they battled with something that night.
Well, I'd like to step in for a second because I don't know that I've ever asked you this before. When this was first starting to happen, and they're shooting these things basically like, you know, you'd be shooting at ducks or whatever, did they really know at that time what they were dealing with?
No, they had no clue. They, of course, my grandmother was highly religious, and she was trying to get my dad and them to stop shooting at them because she was thinking that if they would just leave them alone, let them be, that they would go away. My daddy's thinking was, no, they're coming up to the windows and the doors. What if they get in? You know, we got to prevent that. So that was his take on it. But her being the person she was, she thought maybe they were something the devil had sent. Some kind of goblin or demon. So,
and they really weren't all that big. Not like,
exactly.
You hear of the talls they stand like 7-8 foot tall. I mean, these little things here, I mean, today, in today's standards, with all the radiation and, you know, things that get out into the atmosphere that shouldn't be, if that was today and UFO stuff was not as well known as it is, but we know about atmosphere contaminations, you would actually think they were probably like some mutant birds or something that were going awry and they were flying around. But back then, I mean, I can only imagine the fear that they had and what they were thinking, like, what the heck are these things?
Exactly. And that's what they were thinking. They didn't know. They had no clue. You know, they were just, you know, a simple farming family that kept to themselves primarily. And, you know, here they were in a battle with something they had no clue what it was. It was scary, frightening.
Right, exactly. I don't know. It's a good thing everybody had the guns. 'Cause I could see, Kimmy, you sitting in a chair and then these things started popping.
Well, you gotta think, you know, that's just like where I'm sitting at right now. I'm back here in our computer, and we have huge windows in our house, and she right nearby and walk around. And so, what if I was sitting here and looked up and there you go, there's some walking woods back here, you know, what is it? You know, what would you do? You know, of course I would scream and go running in there to Chris, you know, hey, there's something out here, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to run and get our double-barrel shotgun, I guarantee it.
Not me, I'd be 911.
You know, I know that's a crazy way to think, you know, and I've seen it, and I've heard people say, you know, that's the hillbilly way of thinking. You know, you would go get a gun and start shooting at it before you know what it was. Well, excuse me, what would you do? You know, people don't look at it that way. They think, well, this is 1955. This is just a simple farming family. They were a bunch of Kentucky hicks, basically, and so, you know, they think, well, they just jumped in and didn't even think about what they were doing. They were just, you know, a bunch of old hillbillies. You know, well, oh my gosh. You're telling me that you wouldn't, you know, defend yourself if something come up to your window or door that you had no clue what it was?
Oh, absolutely, especially something that looked like that.
Exactly. You know,
And too
please.
bad if they were friendly, trying to make friends. Hands off of these people. And that's the reaction. And I think we have a question in the chat room.
Yeah, Geraldine, Cynthia wants to know how old you were when you first heard this story.
When did I first hear? Oh, that's a nice one. Well, it's kind of funny because our parents kept the story hid from us. My dad never talked about it. That's how terrifying it was to him. We found out by accident. It was like 1968 or 9. We lived on farm, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and I'll never forget it. There was a knock at the door, and I answered the door. I was like, 8 years old maybe, and this man and woman was standing there, and they asked for my daddy, and I'm like, okay. So my mom and dad were in the back of the house, so I ran to the back of the house and told them that there was somebody at the front door wanting it, and mom and dad come to the front, and they're like, Mr. Sutton, we need to talk to you, and he's like, okay, and we want to talk to you about the Kelly event, and you could just see this face just like change. And so again, didn't know what they were talking about, and I guess they figured, well, they're going to find out somehow. So next thing I don't know, we're all sitting in the floor in a circle, and the grown-ups are, sitting in the couches and the chair and the couches and stuff, and my daddy starts telling this incredible story. And it's like, wow. And these people were asking questions, and he kept telling us stories. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And so from that day forward, I was terrified. I would run around the house every night, closing the doors and windows and shades and whatever, I could close to make sure there was nothing looking in at night. Because I was scared that something was going to come up and look in at us. So I was terrified.
Well, I think I would be scared at the fact that, Kim and I, we've interviewed a lot of people that are involved in the study and research of UFOs and abductees, and there seems to be something where it's like generational. Okay? And, why did they pick your family's farm when there was other farms around?
Right.
And that would be my thing is, they're going to come back to get me because they were already there at the family farm.
Right.
And that's what a lot of these researchers have to say is it's like they just don't randomly pick people.
Right.
And so I've always asked, is it like hereditary? And a lot of them think that it is.
Yeah, well, I've been told that, that's a possibility. They could come back, to visit some of us. And I'm like, oh, Lord help me if they do. I don't know if I can handle it or not. Because I just don't want to see one. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. But I've been told by several people, as a matter of fact, that could happen. So, hey, if it does, I guess I'll have another book to write, huh?
That's true. Give us another book to talk about after you come back down to earth.
Yeah.
See, now, Kim, there's poor Geraldine sitting there minding her own business, not even really thinking that, and I just had to plant the seed.
Well, it's a possibility. It's scary. I've seen things. I've seen things that I have no clue what they are. There are things that go on in the night sky that we just don't know. I can give you a really good example probably right now, like a couple of months ago. We have skylights in our bedroom. It just so happens one of these skylights right over my side of the bed. And one night I woke up, just woke up, don't know why, just woke up, looked up, and there going across the sky and it was flying pretty low, was a triangular object with 3 lights, one at the point and 2 in the back, and going over the house. All right, as close as it was, I was laying there thinking, well, that should be shaking the house, or we should be hearing something from this thing. So I wake up Chris, hey, you get up, you gotta look. So anyway, he jumps up out of bed, and we've got a window on each side of our bed, and he goes to his window, I go to mine, and we can't see it. Where did it go? Of course, we do have a lot of trees around the house, but still, as big as it was, as low as it was flying, we should have been able to see it as quick as we had gotten up. But like I said, there was no sound, because I ran outside, and there was no sound. And like I said, as close as it was, the house would have been vibrating or something. So what was it? I have no clue.
Well, weren't you just asked or informed last weekend that someone actually wanted to talk to you about way back then?
I've always got somebody wanting to talk to me about way back then.
No, I thought it was someone new. I thought it would maybe.
Well, I've got I am going to go speak here in October in Madisonville, which is like 35 miles down the road here. They're wanting me to come before their some kind of committee thing they have, and they're going to show me around the town and give me a token of their appreciation and take me out to eat and all this wonderful stuff and come speak for them. And so I'm like, fine, that's great. But yeah, I've always got somebody contact me wanting to know stuff. So
I remember the first year of Little Green Men, the first annual, and there were people coming out of the woodwork.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. And it'll happen that way again. I'm in the process. I'm fixing to start writing another book. And, so I'm sure as soon as I get that next one out, it's going to be that way again because, I had people constantly. Okay, when's the next book coming out? When are you going to write the next book? Is it going to be next year? Are you going to have it next year? When's it going to be ready? Oh, it's just a constant. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to get this done. I've just been so busy because, we have our shop too. It's sort of like Kim and Eric. And, so, we've been so busy with it. And then everything around here and everything else, how lives are, we just stay busy. And so I just haven't had a chance to even get started on it, but I'm going to make myself get down and get started. I know how I'm going to start it. I know what I'm going to do. I just got to do it. So hopefully maybe I'll have a new book here soon.
Well,
but I've got a lot to add to the story because I've been told so much, and there's some tidbits that people are going to be shocked, I believe, to find out about.
Well, you had to figure with all the activity that occurred at your family's home. I can't believe that other surrounding neighbors didn't hear or see anything, or maybe even experience some things. And let's face it, back in the day, nobody really talked much about that. But UFOs and things now are so popular, people are coming forward. They're not, as I guess you would say, embarrassed to talk about it.
Well, to some, well, kind of. You still have people that are afraid, because I have people that come in the shop all the time that will come and talk to me, and they won't talk to anybody else because they say people will think they're crazy. So, people still have that fear that they're going to be laughed at. So they'll come to me and tell me stuff when they won't even tell their own spouse. It's kind of crazy, but it's true because they're afraid of being laughed at and they won't be believed. And so, yeah, it's better than it was. It really is. But it's still the same. People are still afraid because, you have that fear of being ridiculed. We all have that. So, it's just going to be there. But what was I going to say?
Well, that and Geraldine's adorable, and who wouldn't tell her secrets? You are, and we have the picture of you wearing the yellow jacket on the screen.
Oh, do you?
How adorable do you look in that jacket right there?
Oh, if I didn't make so much noise, I'd bring it up. Let's see.
Yes, and the lovely yellow jacket she has on was brought to you by Metaluna.
Let's do a little advertising here.
But it looks so good on you. Even when
I wonder where that came from.
Even when I showed Cynthia it before you got it, she's like, "That is so her," and it fit great. So that, yay!
Well, you look good. I just saw a picture. I'm looking at a picture of you now, and you look great in it. Yellow's your color.
It is.
Apparently, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the Kelly Green Men Festival.
All right.
And how it has grown from when you first started.
Yes. Well, it did really good the first year. They weren't expecting anything like it was the first year. They were told, because they had done some research, and they had been told that don't expect 500 to 700 people your first year.
Right.
Okay? It was over 2,000. The second year, it was over 4,000, close to 5. I don't know how many was there this year. You've got to consider we had awful weather.
Oh, this year was double last year. I can almost guarantee it, because Saturday, there wasn't a time that, even in the pouring rain, there wasn't a time when the whole area wasn't just packed with people.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you're right, because the place where they had the seats set up and the stands and stuff, it stayed packed all day.
Yeah,
you're right.
And Cynthia and I were running around taking pictures, random pictures, and we'd go over by where the fire station or the fire truck was, and point down toward the far end where the alien bounce house was, and there were constantly large groups of people in those aisles.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. I hope we did. They haven't had a meeting yet, so I don't know. I hope they did good this year. I just hope the rain didn't hurt it. I think it'll do better each year. People are getting to see it, and it is fun. It's something different to do. How many places do you get together, for a little alien thing? And then I guess you heard about the little green men getting stolen.
No! What?
Yeah. The little green men that they had there, they had those little wooden cutouts.
Right.
There was like 3 of them, and they all got stolen. They've gotten 2 of them back. But they still need, there's still one that's still out there somewhere. So we don't know.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, the little green man got stolen.
You think maybe it was just a prank?
Probably, I would think so.
Because abducting little green men.
Right. It was kind of funny because they were putting it on Facebook and stuff that, how were they putting it? There has been I don't know how they did that.
A human abduction?
Something about stealing the aliens, there's been human contact, and I don't know. It was crazy. They made it really cute. They did it, trying to get them back, which they weren't going to, persecute anybody or do anything to them. They just want the green men back.
Right.
So 2 of them did come back home, so.
No, I had no idea. We were dealing Friday with the extremists putting all this stuff, all those flyers in the doorknobs of the cars.
Oh, see, I didn't get anything like that.
I got one, gave it to Joanne, eventually got it, but then I got a second one put on there.
Huh, well, we never did see one.
Cynthia has one. She still has it.
Weird. How'd you get it, though? My gosh.
But yeah, the first year, there was roughly 2,000, but there was people from all over the country. We had talked to people from California and Louisiana and Michigan, I think. So
I don't doubt it.
And that was the first year, so. But you've got vendors who come back every year, and you've got vendors who complain they're never coming back and come back every year. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, what's word? I mean, people go back and say, oh, we've got to go to this again next year. It's just like in Phoenixville. They have something that's called the Blob Festival, for real.
Oh, really?
There was a movie, the original movie, The Blob, with Steve McQueen. The movie theater scene where everybody's running out of the movie theater into the street was filmed in the next town over from me. I think the theater was called the Colonial Theater, and it still exists and it's still open. So every year, the town gets together and they do the festival, and they recreate where people are running out of the movie theater, and so many people get picked to do that. Well, it started out, there was like 3 tables and like 4 people showed up. Now you can't even get within miles of the town because it's become so popular. They have bands there, people dress up as aliens. They have a screaming contest. I was there one year. I had a table, so that's how I know. But it's huge, and it started out just a very, very small thing, anniversary of the filming of The Blob at the movie theater. And who'd have thought? I haven't been there for a couple of years because I wanted to get a table. Again, I didn't jump on it quick enough, and all the tables were sold out. And my husband and I went to go, and you had to walk like 3 miles, from parking your car to get there. So it's you just never know. Yeah, I know. When I first started in the para world, our group had gotten a table, and I'm like, the what? What? The Blob Festival. I'm like, what are you guys, nuts? Mm-hmm. And then when we went, we were a hit because we were a paranormal team, and we had people. I mean, there were like 100 people out in the street in line waiting to come up to our table. So I seriously was going to do it again 2 years ago, and I couldn't get a table. I mean, it's like you got to get the table in January for July, or else too bad. So I have an official Blob Festival shirt to prove I was there.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Well, with the little green men, originally we had parked over on one side of the road, or the festival was on one side of the road closest to the church, and the vendors' parking lot was the parking lot, and now we've taken over the vendors' parking lot and the other side of the field, and then what's left for parking is where the UFO sits, our little alien guys, and that's parking now.
Yeah. Yep.
We've upgraded.
Bigger and bigger.
It's always so much fun, though.
Yeah, it's fun, and you get to meet different people.
Do people come dressed up?
Yes, and well, they have an alien costume contest. It was good this year.
And Cynthia Geraldine.
Kids were really cute.
Yeah, that was the hard one. Cynthia Geraldine and I have been the judges for the past 2 years.
Yeah, but that little flying saucer kid, I mean, that costume took a lot of work, and it was all handmade.
Yeah, but he was still a smart mouth. We like the Men in Black.
Yeah, that was cute. Yep. But the kids are always cute, though.
Well, I think people have this little, especially adults, it's their way of, like, expressing themselves and act weird by dressing up. That's what they really want to do.
Well,
my husband's a Trekkie, and he actually finally went to a Star Trek convention.
Oh.
Now, of course, he went in dressed up normal, but he was one of the few. Everybody that goes, they're either Klingons or, they're one of the Star Trek officers. I mean, he took pictures, and there was very few that did not go dressed. It's just one of those cool things to do, I guess.
It is. You know, they have that cosplay now, right? It's really neat. Well, I can't say anything. I've got like 3 Star Wars costumes now. So I can't really say anything. Not to mention all my other kind of costumes I have.
Well, and then you've always got Darth Vader or one of the...
Oh, yes. Always have Darth or
Stormtroopers, that's it. Stormtroopers running around town about the same time the aliens get let loose.
Yeah, we have fun doing that, though. We do it at the stop.
Well, last year, Darth Vader took on the aliens to bring back the star performer.
I know. We should have brought the Stormtrooper this year. Maybe we can next year. Stormtrooper's really cool.
Well, by the time they got ready to steal the headliner, the storm had come in, and we were all ready to steal something and just get out of there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what you guys ought to do? When we went to Universal Studios in Florida, they had this vendor. Well, I was in a building, and you can go and become a character of Star Trek. You know, you could either be one of the Star Trek people, or you could be a Romulan or whatever. And so my whole family, we all got dressed up as Starfleet officers.
Oh.
And you do an actual, it's like a 10-minute video where you do a clip of a scene from Star Trek. And you're sitting there and you've got that, what is it, the green screen, Kim, that they call it,
Yes.
behind you?
Yes.
And they do give you a script to follow. And every time I look at that video, we still have it. And that was like 15 years ago that we did it. And I said, I can't believe you guys actually had me dress up as a Starfleet officer. I forget. I think Rick was Kirk. And you're like, and you're sitting there and you don't realize it, but that green screen does all this stuff. And when they're done, it looks like you're actually, sitting in the Enterprise, and you're fighting. It was fun. I'd do it again.
I would go as a Tribble.
In trouble with tribbles.
Well, isn't it appropriate then?
Yeah. You know what? Whenever I rehab all of the episodes, the old episodes, every movie, we have The Next Generation, and my favorite is The Trouble with Tribbles because they sound like they're little purring cats, I always said I want to get a Tribble.
Or you can get those. They've got in Orlando. They've got a Star Trek museum type place, and they sell the Tribbles there.
Really? I need a Tribble.
You can touch them, and they do that little sound, and they move.
Aw.
Oh, I could probably give you the dialogue of every one of the original shows. I mean,
oh my God!
I married a Trekkie, and I'm Trekkie by injection. What can I tell you? But yeah, we like all that stuff. So you've got next year's planned already, and what did you say the date was?
For what?
The next.
The little green men.
What?
The next festival next year. You're going to have one, right? There'll be another one.
Well, yeah, it'll be the third weekend, whatever that is.
I got to remember they're thinking about what character she would be to go dress up to do the video. We lost her. Sorry. We get punchy around this time.
Yeah, there is that. It's the 16th and 17th again.
Oh, is it?
It should be, yes.
That's weird.
Well, leap year.
Oh, is it leap year? Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be. 10,
Oh,
14,
okay.
yeah.
Well, whatever works. I'll be there.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah.
Especially if I finally make it there. Okay.
You have to. Who Who else are we going to go out for Mexican food with on Saturday night?
Oh, I know. That's become our thing.
It has.
We have to go get the Mexican food after it's all over with.
There is this little Mexican place in Kentucky that has better
In
Mexican
Knoxville.
food than half the places down here. They've got the best, what is it, vegetable quesadilla?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. I love their veggie quesadillas. Yes.
Well, it sounds like fun. You're just going to have to keep kicking me in the butt to make sure that I get there next year.
I kept thinking, what if it was this weekend? 'Cause it's hot up here now. It's in the 90s.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I thought we lost summer there for a while.
Well, see, it hadn't got hot up here. It's like that yet. We've had a crazy wet summer. So, now we're dry, and it's getting in the 90s this week. And I thought, well, darn, I wish we had the festival this weekend.
Yeah, that would have really been. I think everybody that I talked to had an extremely wet summer. And I really thought the last 2 weeks we dropped in temperatures. I thought, okay, here we go, early fall. But today it went to 90, so I think we're back in the summer. Usually when the kids go back to school, it usually starts to get extra hot again, and we usually die for a week or two before it cools down. So I think that when you and I last spoke, you are working on the second book.
Yes.
Do you any idea when you're going to be finished with that?
No.
At least you're honest.
Well, see, you could
I
ask...
got a lot to do with this one. I got a lot of research I got to get done, and oh my goodness.
You could ask her about the 3 children's books you started, too.
I may not ever get that done again.
You'll get to it. I know I'm in the process of starting my second book. I was on with Dinah today, and I'm picking up a second one, and I'm thinking, do I really want to do this? Because I know what it's all, once you get the one behind you and you realize all the things that you have to do just to even get it approved, and then you got to start writing, I don't work well under pressure.
People don't realize how much work it is to do one.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Definitely have to research. If you do fiction books where you can just write them out of your head and you don't have to do a bunch of research and stuff, it's so much easier.
Right.
So when you've got to do one that, you've got to get everything right. Oh, my goodness.
I know. You better get those facts right. Who gave them to you? Or if not, you got a lawyer sending you a letter.
Exactly.
Well, you were also looking for a new publisher, last I heard.
Who, me?
Yes. Weren't
Well,
you?
I'm actually supposed to be writing this book for publishing, and I've got until the end of the year, but I haven't even gotten started on it yet. So I don't know. I sent Dinah a email asking her if I could get
An extension?
An extension, yeah.
Yeah, you'll probably get one.
And I haven't heard back from her yet.
Give her time. But I think they're going through. I was talking to her today, and she said something about we're going through the new catalogs of things. So you're good. they're really busy right now.
That's
So anyway,
good.
yeah. So Kim, I'm looking at the time here.
I don't see no time.
Oh. Golly, it's already 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it's our hour's almost up.
Oh, good Lord.
Unfortunately.
Well, no, this is good because every time I think I hear everything, I hear something different from you. So it's very, very interesting.
I know, but we don't get to play with her much, so when we got her, we don't want to lose her.
I know. Oh, well. But anyway, we want to thank you for joining us and wish you the best of luck on your next book that you're trying to write.
Thank you.
I think once you get going, it'll start to sell and everything.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
Well, Geraldine, do you have a website for your shop?
No, we don't have a website yet. We just have a Facebook page.
Well, tell them where to see.
We've talked about doing a website, but we just haven't had time to deal with anything like that. But you can go Serenity Shop Princeton, and the shop has 2 P's. And bring it up and see what all we have, and see how crazy we are. And
All the fun.
And it's fun. It is. It's really fun. You know, having one of these kind of shops, it brings out people. We haven't had an experience like you had yet. You know, we've really been very fortunate. We're having a very good clientele. So, you know, it's doing really well. We've been pleasantly surprised.
Well, mine's starting to pick up, but school started today, so all the moms are finally free of the youngins.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. But we get a lot of kids.
Geraldine,
So
what's the name of your shop one more time?
It's called Serenity Shop. And you can go on Facebook. It's Serenity Shop Princeton. And like I said, shop has 2 P's.
And they can get a hold of you on Facebook?
Yes, they can.
And where can they get your book? Other than my shop?
Well, I'm fixing to have everything redone. I've got somebody else taking over my website for my book. So we're fixing to get everything changed. But you can still get it. Go to alienlegacy1955.com. And you'll see my website. But we're fixing to update everything and change everything and just revamp the whole shebang and redo it. So, but you can still go there.
So if you want the original books, you can...
Alien Legacy 1955.
There you go. Well, once you redo everything, it's a second edition, so we get the first.
Yeah, well, it'll all be on there, though. This guy got taking it over. He's going to really revamp it up and everything. And I think it's really going to turn out really well.
All right. I'm sure Mary hasn't eaten, and she's going to be coming after me soon.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm the nice lady, remember that?
You are the nice lady.
Geraldine, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And you know we're going to grab you for the future because we love to bring you on and talk to you. All right. Good night, Geraldine.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
Night,
All right,
Kitty.
take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Boy, I'm so jealous I didn't get to go.
I'm telling you.
You
And
kicked my butt enough. It's your fault.
and this year, Cynthia can back me up here, they had not only funnel cakes, but they had red velvet funnel cakes with real cream cheese icing on them. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, speaking of good things, we have a good show planned next week, which is Labor Day. And yes, we will be here Labor Day night. Won't we?
We will.
Absolutely.
Yes. And our guest next week is another Penn Show host, Anita Perez. And she will be joining us. And I have to say 2 things about Anita. She does really great jewelry, as you know, because I have worn some of her pieces on the show. And she's also excellent if you want a reading. I had the privilege of her giving me a reading the other night, and she nailed me. Oh, and I'll be in Centralia on Sunday. I'm going to be with Rob and Marie. We're going to do some filming. Let me see, Sal and Jen are going to be joining us, as well as Mark and Jessica, for the second part of her DVD. So can't wait for that to come out. I might be in it, so see me walking by waving.
Yeah.
Eating a piece of cheesecake while I'm investigating. But anyway, you want to join us back here next week? And Kimmy, I know you got some things going on.
We always got something going on. Of course, I have no clue what it is.
You want me to make something up for you? I can make it sound interesting. Okay, this week coming up on Pima TV is Fill in the Blank.
Well, Thursday night on Yakking with the Yeti is my new chat room playmate. The guest for Thursday will be Tim Yancey.
Woo!
And Tim's always fun.
Yeah, he is. So, but Friday, what are we doing Friday? Fill in the blank.
Movers and shakers.
We're talking to the movers and shakers of the paranormal.
Sounds good. Works for me. Well, I guess that's it. Oh, I gotta put something out there. I forgot.
Ooh.
Mark, Sarah, and myself, we have formed a co-op called Middleton Para Co-op, and we're hosting an overnight investigation at Fort Mifflin, September 14th. So if anybody's interested, please contact me, and you get to spend the whole entire night at Fort Mifflin.
And before we sign out, November 9th, Marshall, Texas, Marshall's Haunted Holidays. Speakers, cemetery walks, haunted location tours, investigations in 2 virgin areas. If you're anywhere near Texas, get down here. It is going to be a ball.
Yes, it will be. All right.
And with that, we got to get out of here because we keep coming up with more stuff to say, so it's just better we just run.
I just want to give a shout out to the kid. I love you. Got it out there. All right. Good night, everybody.
Will they need scuba gear at Mifflin?
No, not this time.
Okay.
All right. With that, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Just Saying. It is August 26, 2013. Already? That was Jimmy saying hello to everybody in the beginning. And I am joined here, as I am every week, by my lovely co-host, Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Kim. I had to definitely mute with Jimmy barking. I thought I was going to lose it there for a second. If we had to train him to do that at that timing, it would never happen.
I know. Jimmy definitely has a mind of his own.
You put enough cookies in the way he do it.
Yeah, that's true. You never know with Jimmy what he's going to be up to. So, hello.
Huh?
Gotcha.
But apparently she grew up far enough south to where she grew up around people who were into voodoo. So I'm good.
Okay.
She didn't march or picket or anything in my store, so hey.
Well, that's good. Either that, it's able to attract some business. You know, the people that act like they're afraid of something, they're the ones that really aren't. They just don't want the world to know about it.
Right. Well, she came in with her daughter, and her daughter was like all kinds of interested in everything, so.
Gotcha. Well, I had a fun weekend.
I know you went to a wedding.
No, Mark and Jessica got married. And, you know, I didn't know what to expect. I've never been to a garden wedding before, let alone a real small one. It was very, very, I'm not even sure I can put it into words, but Rick and I were overwhelmed that we got invited because they only had 20 people there. It was immediate family, invited like 6 to 8 friends. And so that was an honor. But the best part of the entire wedding, it was a spiritual wedding, and everything was symbolic. And it was nothing I've ever attended. All I can tell you is when I left there, I just felt like I was floating. I was talking to Patty a little bit later on Skype, webcam, and I kept saying, I don't know how to. Oh, I'm okay. Sorry, everybody. I don't get to talk to Kim all day long, so we're catching up.
What do you mean no volume? I could scream, but Robin, you'd be saying, shut up.
Hopefully we're a little bit better now. Okay, Anita's saying it's better. We've got the Anita Good Housekeeping seal of approval, so we must be doing something right. So how are things at the store?
Interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any good customer stories today?
Well, I had a Baptist minister's wife come in and ask me if I was Wiccan.
Okay.
I swear, it seems to be a theme lately. Everybody assumes that.
Well, I could say something smart ass, but I won't. I'll be nice.
Why break a street?
Ooh.
Okay. You're going to get yours later, trust me. Maybe I should open up that box of cookies right now and eat every one of them.
Go right ahead, Mary. It's under the bus. We have cookies.
That's true. That's true. So now you're a Wiccan because this Baptist minister person told you you were.
No, everybody's been telling me that, but she's the latest in the line thereof.
But explain how I feel. I mean, it's just like, and I kept going. She goes, you don't have to. You're glowing. I never came home with so much positive energy. Anything that was negative that was happening prior, everything just changed around, and I just felt rejuvenated. It was just so beautiful.
No.
So I tried to keep everybody abreast of the wedding, when we first got there, and him, Mark looking at Jessica coming towards him, and then her with the gown, and she looked like a goddess. She was dressed up like a goddess. The gown, everything about her was just beautiful. So congratulations to Mark and Jessica, and best wishes.
And congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Goodhand.
Yes. That doesn't sound right.
Mark started it.
Yeah, Mark starts a lot of things. He was the funny part is the minister, both of them had to write something about each other. And neither one of them knew what the other one wrote. But the minister gets to read it. And Mark really pulled, I was ready for Mark to say, well, she likes pepperoni pizza.
Right.
And, you know, she picks up after me. You know, that's the kind of thing you would expect. But one thing was more beautiful than the other. And about halfway through it, Jessica's standing there, and she's like, "You're going to make me cry." Because I guess she didn't really had that in him, too. To be, I wouldn't call it poetic. It was meaningful. It's the first time I've ever seen hand washing. And then they tie this beautiful scarf. It was kind of cool.